Welcome back. I'm your host, Darnell Jackson. In this crypto report, we're going to be talking about the big banks. But before we do, make sure you subscribe to your favorite channel on YouTube, Darnell Jackson Crypto. Okay, let's jump over to the agenda. We're talking about why the big banks became Bitcoin Bandwagoneers. That's right. That's the big news. The big banks have joined the bandwagon. When you join a bandwagon, that makes you a bandwagoner or a bandwagoneer. This is another question. We won't be discussing that. But what we're going to do is we're going to jump over to a tweet from Documenting Bitcoin. And they're talking about JPMorgan just became the first big bank to give retail wealth clients access to Bitcoin and cryptocurrency funds. Banks hesitant to enter the Bitcoin space have been pushed to respond to growing client demand. This from Documenting Bitcoin on Twitter. Let's jump over to the headlines. And we're just talking about why the banks, what's made them join the bandwagon. Now I'm going to play a video of the leader of the banks. If the banks were a band, he'd be the lead singer, so that you can get a perspective on how their sentiment was on cryptocurrency not very long ago. But let's take a look at these headlines first, so we can get a view of what is happening with the big banks. Here is a report from Bitcoin.com. Goldman Sachs survey shows family offices are flocking to crypto investments. Now that's an interesting word. Flocking. You talk about FOMO. This article by Jamie Redmond, and they're saying that high net worth families are turning to cryptocurrency investments, occurred according to a recent Goldman Sachs survey that found close to half of the company's family office clients are inquisitive about crypto asset investments. A Goldman Sachs executive further said that a large portion of the company's family office clients are asking about blockchain and cryptocurrency technologies. All right, so this shows what's going on. Crypto industry sees an uptick in family office participation. According to Goldman, 22% of the family offices that responded managed $5 billion, while asset managers with $1 billion to $4.9 billion represented 45% of the polled participants. So people with big money want the crypto. Now these are Goldman Sachs clients. Of course, Goldman is already known for having extremely wealthy clients. So this is the first article. Now we're going to go down to Jamie Dimon's business, JPMorgan, and they're making news here in Crypto Briefing. And the headline by Chris Williams: JPMorgan lets retail wealth clients access grayscale products. So here's a report, a recent report that's saying JPMorgan is allowing its retail wealth clients to trade crypto products. It had previously only offered crypto access to its richest clients. So what this means is they are now moving things along the path. JPMorgan expands crypto access. It says that JPMorgan is doubling down on crypto. The American investment bank has allowed all of its wealth management clients access to crypto trading, Insider reported Thursday. It's the first major U.S. bank to let all of its retail wealth clients gain crypto exposure. Like several other leading investment banks, JPMorgan had previously only given its wealthiest clients access to cryptocurrency products. All right. The bank has recently backed a 1% Bitcoin portfolio allocation and shared its belief in the future of Ethereum staking. So you can see what is happening right now with the banks. Here's another article talking about JPMorgan. This from Forbes. Now, this article from Emily Mason, Bitcoin about face. JPMorgan opens crypto trading to all clients. Now she calls it an about face. This is very interesting. In an ironic twist, given CEO Jamie Dimon's well-established distrust of the industry, JPMorgan has reportedly become the first major U.S. bank to provide all wealth management clients with access to Bitcoin and other cryptocurrency funds. Very interesting. Now I'm going to play a clip from old Jamie D here in a second, and you'll be able to hear him speak in his own words just a few years ago and compare that to the headline you just read. So here's another report from JPMorgan. This article, JPMorgan reportedly sent a memo to advisors giving them the green light to offer crypto exposure. So investors will now have access to 5 funds, 4 of which are from Grayscale Investments, with the 5th from Osprey Funds. Just so you can get an idea of the entities involved. Now let's jump over to the other banks that are taking up space on the Bitcoin bandwagon. This time we're going to Europe, and this report on Bitcoin.com. Switzerland's largest bank, UBS, says clients have crypto FOMO. That's right. Now, if you're not familiar with that acronym, that is fear of missing out. In this article, UBS, Switzerland's largest bank, says that clients are looking at different investment alternatives and there is a bit of fear of missing out when it comes to cryptocurrency investments. So this tells you the vibe, and this tells you the feeling of investors and how they're really looking at it, especially the very wealthy. Here's a quote this from the CEO. They read it in the papers, but they also see the volatility. So honestly, we advise with caution and we don't offer it actively. We feel the crypto itself is still an untested category. Well, it seems that they are still responding to the demand of their own customers. So here's another piece of the article here. In July, UBS advised investors to stay clear of cryptocurrencies and build their portfolio around less risky assets. In addition, UBS analysts warned that regulators have demonstrated they can and will crack down on crypto. Okay, so that from UBS, and the last report in this, the last bank in this report is from Bank of America, and this from CoinDesk, and it's Bank of America is clearing crypto ETPs for hedge funds in Europe. This article from Tanzil is talking about the bank's prime brokerage unit is said to be allowing clients to access various crypto exchange traded products. Okay, so you see Bank of America back in the news. Bank of America's prime brokerage unit has started the clearing and settlement of cryptocurrency exchange traded products, ETPs, for hedge funds in Europe, according to 3 sources with knowledge of the matter. This is the second recent move on the part of the traditionally conservative bank in the volatile cryptocurrency arena. As reported just last week by CoinDesk, Bank of America has also approved the trading of Bitcoin futures for some clients and is clearing cash-settled contracts. So there you have it. Now you got Bitcoin being embraced by all the biggest banks pretty much in America. Now what I want to do is play a clip from not too long ago from the man that would be the quarterback of the team if the banks were a football team. Jamie Dimon. He would be their leader. Here is Jamie Dimon in his own words from September of 2017 talking about Bitcoin. Let's hear what Jamie says.
You made a comment earlier today that Bitcoin was a fraud.
Yeah.
Why is Bitcoin a fraud?
Yeah. So separate blockchain, which is a technology, from Bitcoin, the currency. And now there are multiple currencies, and so I'm talking about not Bitcoin per se. I'm talking about currencies. You know, the first and the reason, and I'm not saying go short because I know Jim Chanos was up earlier. You know, Bitcoin can tell $100,000 of Bitcoin before it goes down. So there's not a advice on what you do. My daughter bought some Bitcoin and it went up, and she thinks she's a genius now. But
notice the Bitcoin price as he's speaking is at $4,000. Keep going, Jamie.
But it's I did refer to it as like the tulip bulb crisis of the 1700s, whatever. But here's the reason: governments, the first thing they do is form a currency. They like to control the currency. They control it through a central bank. They also like to know who has it, where it is, where it's going. Okay, and that's why China just is closing down the Bitcoin exchanges. And all I ever said is that at Bitcoin, the bigger these things get, the more governments right now they look at it as a novelty. You know, they love in Washington talk about this technology. We love technology. Wait until someone gets hurt. Wait until it's used for illicit purposes, which it is somewhat used for illicit purposes. They close it down. And that's my point. So it's not. You can argue and I also think there's a good reason for it. If you're in Venezuela, or Ecuador, or North Korea, you're better off probably using Bitcoin than using their currency.
Or El Salvador.
That's true in the United States, unless you're speculating. And that isn't a reason to say something has value, because other people are going to speculate. That's tulip. And that's what I was saying. So I don't think, and also, like I said, the other reason to close down is because it's used for illicit purposes. And so it's just not a real thing, and eventually it'll be the emperor without clothes.
Wow. It's really not a real thing, and eventually it will be closed. This is Jamie Dimon in his own words. Now, what I want you to do is just consider that with the background of what you see in these headlines. The banks have definitely switched up what they're saying compared to what they're doing. It's very difficult to get confused about what's really going on here. Now what I want to do is just show you Bitcoin price. We're just going to look at what Bitcoin is doing. Bitcoin chart. Okay. Bitcoin right now is at 32,000. And in the last 5 days, it had dipped down and it's now back up. In the last month, it's been kind of tapering off away from $40,000. So what do I think all of this means? I believe that this is obviously a trend. The banks want to get in early. The direction that things are headed is obvious. I believe that you're going to see this trend continue. And if you are sharp, you'll get in ahead of it. This is not financial advice. This is Darnell Jackson Crypto. I want to thank you for watching this video and liking it. Thank you so much for liking it. If you didn't like it, make sure you check out my other videos. New videos released every day. I'm sure you will like one of them. So keep watching videos until you find one you like. If you watch all the videos and you don't like none of them, then share them with somebody who will. Until the next time, peace.